Hey again. All right, this is question 2. Trying to figure out how tall a cliff is, knowing the final velocity of the unfortunate dog that hit the ground. So, really, we're trying to find the mountain. Sorry. This one is slightly different. It's kind of like the warm up we did in class. What we have to work with is this: the 99.091 at 88 degrees below the horizontal. When you see that, when you see a number with an angle, that should automatically tell you that that is the hypotenuse of a triangle. 99.091 meters per second. Let me write that a little better. 99.091 meters per second. And that angle is this angle. It's always that one right there, 88.26 degrees. All right, so we're trying to find how tall, so that's going to be our dy. So filling in our table, we don't really care anything about horizontal because the only thing we're looking for in terms of our solution is our dy, and that's a vertical piece of the component. So as of right now, I don't care what h is. Question's not asking for that. So I start with my always knowns. I know that VIY is always 0 meters per second. Always true for these. Same thing goes for AY, which another way to write it is G, which is the negative 9.81 meters per second squared. We're looking for dy. So in order to find that, we need an extra piece of information. We need one of two. There's really two ways you can go about this problem. First, you could find the time. If you know the time, you can then find dy. Or we can find VFY. If we know VFY, we know this, VIY, AY, VFY, we could find dy. That's actually the way I want to follow. I want to go along with this because when you see an angle with a hypotenuse, the easiest thing to do to figure it out is to simply break the hypotenuse into its pieces. Going back, sort of working backwards from the triangle, we know what Vx is actually already. We know it's 3 meters per second. And this side represents VFY. If we find this, then we can easily find d. So let's do that. Two ways you can do this. Both should give you roughly the same answer. The easier way, I think the things a lot of the students would like, 99.091 squared equals, just solving Pythagorean theorem, equals 3 squared plus VFY squared. Then you just solve for VFY. When you do that, I'm going to show both ways. 99.091 squared. Because this 3 squared is on the other side, I would have to subtract it. So really I'm going to end up subtracting 3 squared from both sides. So I'm going to subtract 3 squared is 9 from that. And then take the square root, which is going to give me a VFY of 99.05 meters per second. So that's one way. The other way is maybe we don't know this. Say that wasn't known. It was something that was given to us, but maybe we didn't know it. In some problems it might not be given. But we can still find VFY because we have a side of the triangle and the angle. We can use the trig stuff, sine, cosine, to find the vertical. And for that we're going to use sine because sine for SOHCAHTOA is opposite side, which is the VFY over hypotenuse. So you just plug it into your calculator, sine 88.26 equals our VFY, what we're solving for, over our hypotenuse, 99.091. We would multiply up because it's divided, so you have to multiply both sides to get rid of that, and you're left with a VFY of, I just want to show that both of these give the same answer. .091 times the sine. Again, make sure your calculator is in degree mode. And I get exactly the same thing, 99.05 meters per second. So that gives me my VFY. Now that I know my VFY, I can take that into here. And using VIY, AY, DY, and VFY, I know that my equation is going to be VFY squared equals VIY squared plus 2AY dy. And I'm solving for dy. VFY we know, 99.05. And really it should be a negative because it is going down. But when you square a negative number, you get a positive back. So in this case it doesn't matter. But I really should have been a little bit more careful and put that negative in to begin with. 0 squared is just 0, plus 2 times negative 9.81 times dy. I'm going to come way up here. Sorry for confusing. I just want to make sure I'm not covering my face. 99.05 squared is, oops, 99.05. 9810. It's going to be a positive number, 0.90, equals 2 times negative 9.81. 2 times negative 9.81 gives me negative 19.62. Negative 19.62 times dy. So my dy, sorry that it gets a little cramped, my dy is going to be, I just got to divide by the 19.62. 9810.90 over negative 19.62. And when I do that out, 9810.90 divided by negative 19.62, I get the answer of negative 500, in this case 0.04 meters. You really could end there. The question theoretically or truly is saying how tall is the mountain. So since you're saying how tall, that should really be a positive number. So you just take the absolute value, 500.04, and we could call it there, but really, to me, both are totally fine. They're both the same answer. It's always safer, though, just for future reference, especially for this stuff, just leave the negative. There's no worries about it. Your math comes out negative, leave it negative. I'm not going to be that picky. All right, so hopefully that answers and gives you a little bit background information on number 2. So, good.